1720, and more non-Europeans, none more so than all the way from a land down under, Pierce Lehane. He's going to start this one on pole position. They're out on track for their warm-up lap, or first of two formation laps. Karol Dabski will join Pierce Lehane on the front row. Max Verstappen and Nicholas Tihonen will be row 2. Baz de Laat and Charlie Turner row 3. Oliver Myers and Santeri Kallio row 4, and the top 10 will be completed by Felice Tieni of Italy and Ed Brand of UK. Now, two great drivers, Felice Tieni and Ed Brand, but Ed went off the circuit on the previous heat. Felici's had a couple of non-finishers, so both of these guys work to do if they want to put themselves in contention for tomorrow's finals. May have to be via the last chance heat in the case of one of them if they go any further. Row 6 is Peter Betzel and Maxi Weinzierl. Row 7, the lady from France, or one of the ladies from France, Cécile Martini, lining up with a French gentleman, Antoine Barton. Lennart van Bogart in cart number 250 is from Belgium, and it's a Benelux row 8 because Brian Aerden of Netherlands is with him. Fazio Fransen of Netherlands and Christian Thorsen, a Scandinavian from Denmark, is row 9, and the top 20 is completed by Lukáš Bartušák of Poland and Antoine Lepécoeur of France. A 10-lap race for our last senior race of the day. Max Verstappen has been an all-action driver. We've had plenty of good racing, plenty of incident, plenty of entertainment. Looking forward to this one and the contribution made by Max. Pierce Lehane, some misfortune, a little bit of bad luck, but we wish him well in this one. Karol Dabski, couple of good races, but a non-finish, so he doesn't want to spill anything. And of course, Ed Brand have a non-finish last time out, and Felice Tieni with two non-finishers. They've got work to do from row 5, Chris.
Just watching them as they come out of turn 10, the left-hander there to the right of your screen. There's such a huge amount of surface water there, just huge splashes of water coming off the carts as they go through it. So they're going to have to watch that, aren't they, and come through on a different racing line when they do get underway, which is going to be very shortly. There you can see them coming into the penultimate corner, ready for the rolling start. Will they get underway first time? Pierce Lehane has had a solid day. If you can get one really good result now, that would turn it into a good day. He's on the inside, he's on pole position, and with the yellow helmet, he leads the charge then into turn 1. He's got the lead of the race for now. Karol Dabski trying to go around the outside. Max Verstappen, we know he's a quick starter, a tenacious starter. Lehane leads. Verstappen is second. Third is Karol Dabski in the 241 cart. And then it's Baz de Laat in cart 207 going well once again. They all make it safely through the first few turns. There you go. Look at that crowd making their way through turn 6 onto the back straight. And look how much spray is coming off the carts. Again, just a cloud of mist of spray coming off the carts down the back straight. Particularly bad, of course, while they're all booted together, clumped together on this first lap of the race. So Lehane with that very good start to the race, leading the way, leading the field down into the hairpins, and then Verstappen in second place, not close enough to attack yet. Karol Dabski holding on to third place. Baz de Laat was the quick starter in fourth. Changes going on just behind there, side-by-side action for, 6th, 7th positions at the hairpin, which we just saw over in the distance at the top of the screen. We'll see who sorts themselves out when they come back round. At the end of lap number 1, Pierce Lehane leads, but Verstappen, who wipes his visor with his hand to try and see where he's going, because even he, in second place, is getting spray thrown into his face. He's struggling to see where he's going. Third is Dabski. Fourth is de Laat. They stay where they are. Tihonen and Turner are 5th and 6th. Ed Brand has had one bad result but two good results. Needs a decent result here. He's in 7th place. He's had a 2nd, a 4th and a 30th because he had some sort of drama, technical related, I think, in the previous race that he had. And look at them running out through there, 2-3 abreast on some occasions onto the back straight. But at the sharp end of the field, Lehane seems to have got a bit better and a bit better each race here, Ken, and he looks solid in the lead.
Yeah, 0.24 of a second at the end of that opening lap, but Max Verstappen to my naked eye getting close. Oh, and Max Verstappen unquestionably getting closer and getting his nose in front, but a little bit slower on the exit, and that allows the Aussie to go through again. But Max Verstappen now bidding to take the lead. They're side by side as they come down towards the second but one turn, and Pierce Lehane regains the advantage, but Max Verstappen... Oh, Max, that was a little bit hairy. Pierce Lehane holding on to the advantage. Max Verstappen second, 2-4-1, Karol Dabski third. But we're staying with these front-running guys. Well, Pierce Lehane, when he was just a little bit, shall we say... Oh, what happened there with an absolute crossing manoeuvre, almost like figure-of-8 racing on the oval, because there was a crossover, absolutely, with Max Verstappen going through, but he wasn't able to execute the turn, so Pierce Lehane about 4-5 lengths in front as a result, and Karol Dabski well in touch in third place, and Bas de Laat well in touch in fourth.
Yeah, they're in fifth place. Ed Brand, a little bit away from the top four. He's up to fifth. He's got ahead now of Petra Betzel. He's been a race winner already today. Really, Ed Brand with that.
And Verstappen taking the lead, I do believe, and losing it again.
Have a look. Yes.
Well...
Pierce Lehane. Oh, but the door's open on the way to the next turn, and is that Bas de Laat having a look?
Karol Dabski taking advantage of both of them as a driver who was toured off the track just gets off the racing line in good time.
Didn't make it. Still third. He had a good go on the way into the hairpin, but he lost it again on the way out of the turn. And so, look, here come the leaders towards us at turn one.
And Verstappen goes through it. Oh, sorry, Chris.
Yeah, he's done it, has he? Runs wide on the way out though. Pierce Lehane gets him back. So Pierce Lehane, then he loses it again at turn 3. Verstappen back into the lead, but then he runs wide again, and Pierce Lehane again goes back at the inside, and again they switch around. That's 4 times on this lap. The leader's changed. Make it 5 because now I knew I was going to say that. Max Verstappen has got back down the inside line. They're 3 abreast almost at the end of the back straight. It's Verstappen that's made it through though. Lehane is second, and Dabski right on their case in third place. Has got the best seat in the house. It's changed again, I think, as they come out of turn 10. They're all switching and chopping around, but Verstappen it is that leads the way, Ken.
Just putting a little bit of a cushion. Oh, and from fourth to second, that's Bas de Laat, is it?
Yeah.
Has he executed it? And that has definitely given a cushion to Max Verstappen. For the first time in the race, we've got somebody with a lead of significance, and it's Max Verstappen coming round to complete lap 4 with a 10-length kart lead. Great racing. Verstappen goes over the line in that biggish lead now. Karol Dabski second, Pierce Lehane third, and Bas de Laat 4. Behind those front runners, Peter Betzel 5th, Ed Brand, who you mentioned, up into 6th place. That will do. Charlie Turner 7, Nicky Tihonen 8, Michael Kuhl 9, and Brian Airden. Chris, you've seen something.
Yeah, Bas de Laat's just slung one up the inside of Pierce Lehane. So they were side by side. Lehane got his nose back in front briefly, but de Laat has got back into third place. But Pierce Lehane's coming at him. Look, coming towards you. Not quite close enough. And Pierce, the Australian, stays in 4th position. It's all allowed Petra Betzel to close up to them. Then you've got Brandon Turner 6th and 7th, not too far away either. And even though Betzel is, 5th place, he's every bit as quick as the race leader, Max Verstappen. So on an identical pace almost. In fact, he was 0.005 of a second quicker. So he's the fastest man on track at the moment. He's also set the fastest lap overall of the race with that. So Petra Betzel flying through the order once again, waiting for them to come back towards us through the left, then right flick. Look at Verstappen dancing that kart around, taking a big chunk of curb, the drivers, as they go through the final turn to try and huck the wheel over it and give them a bit more grip at the inside. So leaders getting away. It's becoming now about the battle for second place, I think, between Dabski, de Laat and Lehane, and whether or not Betzel can catch them up as well.
Yes, that was the half race distance. 5 laps gone, 5 to go. Max Verstappen's lead is 1.7 seconds over Karol Dabski. It's a lot tighter in third and fourth though, because Bas de Laat is third, but Pierce Lehane keeping the pressure on in fourth. 5th place, as Chris has said, is Peter Betzel, who's really flying. Little bit of a gap then to Ed Brand 6, Charlie Turner 7, Nicky Tihonen 8, Michael Kuhl 9, and Brian Airden completing the top 10. Little bit of a disappointment. Antoine Bouton only 16th, and Felice Tieni, a works driver for CRG, I'm afraid he's not going to go back to the factory here in Italy and say, I loved my time at Castelletto. He's having a little bit of a disaster.
There's the race leader. Look how much surface water there is even on the racing line. There's some huge puddles on the inside of some of the curbs further around the lap as well. Verstappen leads. Look at his second win of the day. He's had 2 wins if it stays like this and 2 seconds. So he's going to be at the front with Philippe Morin, isn't he, if it stays like this. Dabski has also gone very well today. He'll be somewhere in the top 3 or 4 when they work all the points out tonight, and will certainly be qualified at the sharp end for the pre-final. He's 1.6 seconds back. Baz Delart is there in 3rd place still. There's Pierce Lehane with the yellow helmet, and now Pierce is being caught by Pedro Betzal in 5th position in the 214 car. There he is, just turning through shot now. That's Pedro Betzal. He's had a win from the middle of the grid already today, plus he got into the top 6 in one of his other races, and he's in the top 6 again, having qualified not all that well. Petra flying through once again. Where did he start? 11th in the race. He's up to 5th place. He's got Charlie Turner up into 6th now, so he's got ahead of Ed Brand, who's slipped back to 7th position. So it's like a frustrating afternoon this.
And has Pierce Lehane just come back on Baz Delart as they come towards us?
He has. He's
race leader Max Verstappen, Karol Dabski 2nd, and Pierce Lehane back into 3rd.
Yeah, good spot. He did it coming out the hairpin, didn't he? Huge amounts of spray coming off Baz Delart. Baz Delart's not given up yet, though, and this has allowed Pedro Betzal to reel them in still further. So 3rd, 4th and 5th all together. There they go. Baz Delart having a look at the inside for the next corner. Not close enough, but very tight line there. And Pedro Betzal now springs an attack, gets in between them. Pedro Betzal splits them. He goes 4th. Goes through the puddle, though. Everybody keeps forgetting about that puddle onto the back straight, and it slows him up, and Baz Delart gets back ahead of him. And it's allowed Pierce Lehane to get away from them again, Ken.
Yeah, there's so many. If they stood where we are, Chris, they would know of that little problem. But of course, in the concentration of racing, there's a gap, you go for it, but it is where the water gathers. And unfortunately, several drivers have made a passing move, but have not been able to sustain it. But Max Verstappen's lead now up to 1.7 seconds. Doesn't really look that on track, but when you're on a slower track in the rain, well, I say it doesn't look it. It's 30 kart lengths, 1.7 seconds. It may even have been increased. Let's just have a look. Was 1.7, it's 1.9. So Karol Dabski 1.9 seconds adrift as we start the penultimate lap. The Polish driver in 2nd place will no doubt feel 2nd place is his target from here. Pierce Lehane 3rd, and as you said in commentary, Chris, Peter Betzal's error, meaning that there's quite a margin, 1.7 seconds, 1.75 seconds between Pierce Lehane 3rd and Peter Betzal 4th. It may have been Peter Betzal's last chance to get any higher than 4th. Baz Delart, if he finishes 5th or 4th, would be no more than he deserved. Charlie Turner a little way back in 6th, but Ed Brand happy no doubt in 7th in relative terms, given what happened previously.
So Max Verstappen well clear, 1.9 seconds ahead of the pack at the end of the previous lap, with only a lap and a half to go now, less than that in fact for the race leader. Karol Dabski, Pierce Lehane 2nd and 3rd split by less than a second though. Then Betzal up to 4th ahead of Delart in 5th, Turner and Brand 6th and 7th. I think they've caught up the leader a little bit as he backs off. Verstappen over the line he goes. Yeah, it's a slightly average lap by Verstappen, but he can just bring it home now. 109.1, 4/10 slower than Dabski in 2nd place. Dabski's getting on with it because he's got Pierce Lehane who's got quicker and quicker and quicker as the day's gone on. He's really worked at it, Pierce Lehane, and sort of solid results. A bit disappointing from his grid positions early on today. Fell back, but he's always been hovering inside the top 10, and his results have improved all day really. And young Pierce doing a great job once again, and if he can get a 3rd place here, he'll
even
be
when he wasn't
up.
right at the front, you could never discount him, could you?
No.
Because even at the bottom end of the top 10, he was still in contention with the drivers around him at least.
Yeah, I think he'll be pretty high up on the grid for the pre-final with some solid results today. Not many people can claim to have not had a really bad race, and Pierce hasn't had a really bad race today. So all helped, of course, by the fact that he did qualify so well yesterday, 2nd fastest in the dry conditions. Not long to go for Max Verstappen, and what a day he has had. He's slightly overshadowed by Philippe Morin, but 2nd and 3rd running nose to tail again. Verstappen comes through. It's 2 wins and 2 seconds for him. Karol Dabski in 2nd. Pierce Lehane closed up in the end, but ran out of time, finished in 3rd place. Pedro Betzal, he's been a bit of a star today as well, hasn't he? There in 4th place. Baz Delart also almost as ever, you could say, with Baz. He's always thereabouts, isn't he? In 5th place for him. Charlie Turner, good day for Charlie. 6th place. Ed Brand, 7th. 3 good results, 1 bad one. Then Nicky Tihonen in cart 239 was 8th. Michael Cool, number 267, 9th. And Brian Earder, number 216, comes home in 10th place. We had a few non-finishers in that one. Van Bogart. Oliver Myers dropped out very early on in that race. Ollie was competitive for most of the day, but Ollie's now got 1 bad result to his name. Franson and Lepesque and Legala all dropping out, and Shiro was a non-starter, so quite a few dropping out of the race there. So very, very good day for Max Verstappen. He was quick yesterday in the dry, and he's been very quick today. He's taken 2 race wins, and he's going to be somewhere up at the sharp end of the grid tomorrow. And he's speaking to Sarah.
Max, what a race. Very close, but you pulled away in the finish. 3rd down to 1st. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's not easy here. Also, I've never driven before with the tires, so it was difficult in the beginning to find the right pressure. But at the end, I think we were not too bad.
So you're obviously enjoying the wet conditions out there then?
Yeah, I like them.
Fantastic. Really well done, Max. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think Max probably does like the wet conditions after today, doesn't he? He's been storming. To be fair, though, he liked the dry conditions yesterday. So if you're racing against Max Verstappen, bad luck, whatever the weather, he's going to be very quick. Also improving as the day has gone on has been Pierce Lehane. He's been in the top 10 for most of the races. His best result has just come, though, and the Australian, finishing in 3rd place, has had a pretty good day. He's with Sarah.
Well, the man battling against Max was definitely Pierce Lehane. Pierce, tell us a bit about the race and your thoughts.
Yeah, the kart seemed to be not so good at the beginning, and when at the end of the race it was really fast, we started to come back, and at the beginning I got at the front and tried my hardest to stay at the front, and I think one lap we maybe overtook each other 10 times, like nearly once on each corner. So it was a good fun race at the beginning, and then dropped back a little bit, and then at the end we started catching them all back up the front again. So yeah, it was good.
So a bit of a battle then out there.
Yeah, I was just trying to keep myself at the front, and Max wanted the lead, so we were both wanted the same position just as bad as each other, but my kart wasn't quite ready to be as fast at that point of the race, but still I was happy with that one.